time to grow with the SEO Queen. Receive the perfect leads like never before. No traffic is gonna explode. It's time to grow.
Welcome to the SEO Queen Tech Show, a podcast to help you get more credibility, visibility, and profitability through inspiration, technology, and marketing insight. This podcast is for professionals and entrepreneurs who are looking to get more customers, clients, and patients. We're broadcast worldwide on Bashani Radio, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Bashani Radio, always talking about everything from New York City. You can listen to the SEO Queen Tech Show on any mobile phone or tablet device. Also, as a thank you gift for listening to the SEO Queen, you can go to SEOqueen.com and book a complimentary strategy session. Just go to SEOqueen.com and book a Reach More Clients Power session. So today's guest is a big dreamer and a big doer. She draws on her experience of successfully navigating 3 high-profile careers to provide expert advice, encouragement, and step-by-step action plans to activate your career dreams. She is driven by her childhood aspiration to be a superhero and use her talent, skills, and unique gifts to change the world. Madelyn launched her first career in biochemistry and became a published researcher in the field. She later transformed her passion for performance into a second career in theater, during which she worked at 4 Tony Award-winning theaters, including Chicago's Goodman Theater and the Berkeley Repertory Theater. Madelyn continued her quest to better the world as an officer at the American Red Cross. She's a certified career management coach and trainer. She shares inside knowledge on how to set yourself apart and highlight your strengths, abilities, and special talents in today's extremely competitive marketplace. Leveraging her Bowling Green State University degree in communications, her Institute of Cultural Affairs training and group facilitation, and her extensive experiences and success, Madelyn empowers individuals to revive outdated resumes, showcase their strengths and experiences in interviews, and make their career dreams a reality. So welcome to the SEO Queen Tech Show, Madelyn Mackie. How are you today?
I am good. I'm going to take you on the road with me and do my introductions all the time. Hey, everybody. It's good to be here today.
Awesome. So I wanted to get you on the podcast for a few reasons, because I really resonate with your journey. I'm a creative, a violinist as well, in addition to, having the tech background, being an MIT alumni and a builder of websites and SEO and all that good stuff. So what drew you to biochemistry?
Yeah, what drew me to biochemistry is honestly, it was easy. So I am a very linear thinker. So when I would look at scientific formulas, I was able to put them in order the way they needed to be to do the experiments. But see, here's the thing, and this is why it's so important for everyone to follow their passion. Though chemistry was a strength, I didn't like it. I didn't care if you put hydrogen and oxygen together and you got water, or if you blew up the lab. It just wasn't my passion. It was just something that was easy for me to do. But when I went on an internship for the summer and we toured all the different pharmaceutical companies and the product companies that were making all the different products that we use in our homes, and these scientists were so excited about the work that they were doing and their experiments. And I was like, I will never be that excited about hydrogen and oxygen and carbon and all of the elements. It just doesn't get me that excited. So I realized that even though it played to my strengths, that career path didn't play to my passions. So we got to find a marriage of both strength and passion.
So that is a great statement, because I heard the director of the Center for Sustainability and Leadership from MIT speak some years ago, and he talked about redefining success. So, after you had this epiphany that biochemistry was one of your strengths, but it wasn't a passion, how did you pivot from there to the theater?
I always loved theater. Theater was absolutely my passion. I loved going to the shows. I loved working backstage. I loved being in the theater community. But my strength in that realm was not acting. And see, everyone thought, if you're going to be in theater, of course you're going to be an actor. But since my strengths was order and process and documentation, that was the strength. The strength wasn't biochemistry. It was, I like to put things in order. I like to document things. I liked to create processes. And so when I thought about that and I looked at the theater world as a whole, there was this position called a stage manager. And the stage manager took all the different elements of a show and organized it so that it worked according to the necessary process to have a high quality show night after night. And I was like, oh, there it is. There's my job. That works for me. That was exciting. That was doing something different every night. That was bringing order to chaos. I'd say if I could narrow my strengths down to one short sentence, is I loved bringing order to chaos. And I was very successful in theater once I decided to do that, because that creative mind is very chaotic. And so being able to have someone to say, you can do that. We can make your dreams come true on the stage. But you know what? We gotta hang the lights before we paint your floor, because if we paint the floor and then hang the lights, we're gonna mess up the floor. Right. And there was an order of things. So that's where for 15 years I was a stage manager and production manager in theater, helping to bring order to that chaos. And then I knew my strengths now. And so when I applied for the job at the Red Cross, again, at the Red Cross, I was going out to disaster zones, chaos in the middle of the world. So I was going to different hurricane and fire responses and bringing order to those situations.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to know, like, when you transition from biochemistry to the theater, running the stage, and, as a creative, I know how creatives can be. I definitely can see that. But how did you make the transition from, this structure to entrepreneurship?
Well, in theater, you get laid off every 8 weeks. So every time a show opens, it's going to close in about 6 to 8 weeks, and then you have to find a new job. And so since I always was looking for work in theater, I created a system and a process that included to-do list and checklist and templates and scripts, because I didn't want to have to think about it. I just wanted to follow a process, because that's what a process is, right? It's like you do things in this order. It's like our laundry. You have to sort the clothes, then you wash the clothes, then you dry the clothes, then you fold the clothes. And if you dry, right, and then you put them away, hopefully. But if you try to dry the clothes before you wash the clothes, that's not going to work. No. There has to be a process. So I had a process for job search, and I just used it for my own career. And my theater colleagues would say, Madelyn, how do you always find a job so fast? And I said, oh, let me show you my little system. And they used the system and they would find jobs. And then one day my phone rang and somebody called and said, hi, I understand you're a career coach. Will you help me find a job? And I said, oh, what? They said, so-and-so said you're their career coach. How much do you charge? And I said, well, that's a very good question. Let's do an assessment call, and then I can send you a proposal. And so it really just started as a side hustle of, again, using my thinking process, my strengths, and it was a side hustle. And as I was working for the Red Cross, that side hustle picked up more and more momentum. And one day I realized that I was like, you know what? I want to do something completely different. I want to be my own boss. And so let's see, I've got people asking to pay me to write resumes and to be their career coach. So let's just branch out and try this entrepreneur thing and see if it works.
Wow, that's awesome. So since you have been running your business for over 10 years, what would you say are some of the lessons that you've learned about the job seeking process in the United States?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is that it really does depend on your network. So people need to utilize their network to the maximum potential to find their best jobs. Having a resume is great. Having a good resume is wonderful. But if you ask most individuals, especially most professionals that have made it to the manager, director, vice president level, and ask them how they got there, they're not going to say, oh, I just applied for a job on a job board and they called me for an interview and I got hired. Many of them will say, I found these roles through my mentor, through my coach, through somebody that advocated for me, from a past supervisor that said, hey, they tapped me on the shoulder and brought me into this new role. So I think that's where a lot of people think, oh, if I pay a lot of money to get a great resume, then my phone's going to start ringing off the hook. A great resume is helpful, but your network is the number one tool in your career plan.
So I would agree with that. Just being connected to decision makers or people who are connected to decision makers is helpful. So how can, a person who is seeking to progress in their career, in their field, expand their relationship capital and improve it?
I think it's about, you don't need a lot of people in your network to make that happen. I think the smaller the group, the core group you have is important. So, pick that person that's in the role that you want to be in next. That's probably your first level of mentor. Pick someone at the C-suite, the executive level, that can guide you through all aspects of your career. Even have someone at your own level that you can bounce things off of. You don't need a really big group of people. And also, just make sure you're leveraging everyone you get to know professionally. A lot of people sleep on LinkedIn. They don't use it until they're looking for a job, and they'll not have the network. So every time you go to a Zoom call, connect with those participants that are in that call with you and say, hey, I see we're both in the XYZ webinar. I'd like to add you to my network for connection and collaboration. Participate in your company's employee resource group and make sure you connect with the leadership team of that employee resource group. And then when you're invited to any type of company meeting, if you're having a company fireside chat with the CEO, connect with that CEO. So see, now you're building a network along the way. So the network will be there for you when you need it. Too many clients come to me after they've been laid off and I say, well, how's your network? And they're like, I don't have one. I don't log on to LinkedIn that often. I don't connect with people I meet. Just think of LinkedIn as your online business card, that when we go to a conference, sometimes, we'll bring a stack of 500 business cards. And by the time the conference is done, we don't have any left. So I tell people, get your LinkedIn profile up to date and then use that as your online business card, that every time you meet someone new, you connect with them on LinkedIn. So that network is present and accounted for when you need it.
That is so important. That is so, so important to really take your network seriously. When you were saying that, you made me think about someone I needed to connect with on LinkedIn.
Right? And that's exactly it. People sit there and say, you know what, 2 years ago, a recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn, but I wasn't looking for a job, so I ignored it. How do I go back and connect and find those people now? See, that's the thing. Look at people when they reach out to connect to you on LinkedIn, and even if they're not the perfect individual right now, is it someone that they could help you in the future?
I think, networking is so important. And I think that's one of the things that I think people forget to focus on. Like, we have all these social media platforms, we have all this technology to help us stay connected. And I think it's easy for people to get overwhelmed and distracted from all the content that's being put out there. But, how can a person really make it incorporated into their professional routine, whether they're a W-2 or an entrepreneur, I mean, LinkedIn is a very valuable resource either way it goes. How can they
Yeah,
incorporate that into their normal operations?
great question. So first thing is update your profile. So just like you spend time updating your website, updating your marketing materials, you need to make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date. So if you're a professional working at a company, make sure you have your current job on there. Make sure you have all your accomplishments in your current job. If you're an entrepreneur, make sure you've made and created a LinkedIn company page for your business and that you've listed that business on your personal profile. And it's
Okay,
really
I have to pause you right there because I talk to so many business owners and they're like, "Do I need a LinkedIn business page?" I'm like, "Yes. Yes."
yes. And it's easy. It takes less
It's
than
so
5
easy.
minutes to do,
And you know what?
right? You're like,
If you know what, if this doesn't motivate you to create a LinkedIn business page, I don't know what will, but you get 250 free follow invitations per, I think it's either per day or per month. I forget
yeah.
which one it is, but you get 250 free ones.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to market your business, in my opinion, is create a LinkedIn profile, create a company page, make sure you list yourself as the CEO owner of that company on your personal page. And
Right,
then once you have that, every time you meet with a vendor, every time you meet with a client, every time you meet with a lead, every time you go to an entrepreneur webinar, and Lord knows there's a ton of them out there, you connect with that audience. Because
right,
here's the thing you have to understand is people may not need your service. Like I know that people don't need my resume service when I connect to them sometimes. They don't need it. They're like, I got a job, I'm good. But at some point in their career, they're going to want to change jobs. And that means they're going to need a resume writer. They're going to need me. They may not need me today, but they may need me tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So
right.
first you create your profile, then you build your network. And the third step is activate that network. So post content. And you don't have to post every single day. In my early days of my business, I posted once a week. I would find one piece of content. And here's how I did my content. So a lot of entrepreneurs, right? We talk to our customers every single day. And whatever was the first question of the day, that was my post for the week. So if somebody would say, Madelyn, I have a question. Do I need a cover letter? Boom. That was the post that I would write that day.
You know what, Madeline, you are just full of knowledge bombs because I think this is great advice for um, professionals, entrepreneurs, the whole nine yards, because I tell people all the time, stop taking these side conversations and leaving them there. That's perfect social media content. So like take those questions, make a post about it, make a blog post about it, make a video about it.
Right. Right. It's so easy and quick to make a video of saying, oh, hey, everybody, I just want to tell you someone asked, and let's talk about the professional, right? The entrepreneur, you guys, with our questions from our clients, that's easy content. It's low hanging fruit. But you're like, I don't have a business. What's the first question you get in the morning when you log into your email or somebody comes knocking on your door and says, hey, I have a question. How do I use this tool? How do I use this technology? I have this problem. How do I solve it? Now I get it. Some of the things you're solving in corporate America is confidential and you can't put it out there on social media, but get it down to the basics. With today, one of my employees came in and asked how to handle a difficult client. Here's 3 ways that if you're in customer service, you can handle a difficult client. You listen, you repeat back what they say, and you tell the truth. Like it's not that hard to create fabulous, strong content based on the things you're doing every single day, the questions you're answering every single day.
You are so right. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you on my podcast is because when I first met you, and I met you through the digital literacy accelerator that I'm currently consulting on with Lindustry, I was very impressed at how polished your 30-second pitch was. So give the people your 30-second pitch and how to connect with you.
Thank you. I'm Madelyn Mackie, the Career Activator, and we help professionals just like you activate your career dreams. We do that through coaching, training, and document training on resume writing, LinkedIn profiles, job search strategy, and interview prep. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn, Madelyn Mackie, or you can go to our website, madelynmackie.com. That's MADELYNMACKIE.com, and we cannot wait to help you activate your career dreams.
Well, thank you so much, Madelyn. I have to say, I think you're just such a dynamic business leader. And if I ever am in the market,
you're going to be fine. You don't even need to finish that sentence. You're going to be just fine, my friend.
I mean, I was telling you earlier today that, I haven't looked for a job in a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I think, it's just like a whole new world for me, but there's so many similarities in selling your skills as an employee and selling the value of your company as an owner entrepreneur. There's a lot of similarities. I think if you're listening to this episode, if you don't take anything else away, make sure as a business owner, you have that LinkedIn business page. And if you are just a professional, make sure you keep your LinkedIn profile up to date and fresh and connect with people. I mean, at the very minute, I love that suggestion that you made about, those questions that you get asked, whether you're an employee or entrepreneur, the first question of your day, making a video about it and posting that on your social media. I think that is a phenomenal